皆さん、こんにちは。ナミです。Hi everyone, I'm Nami. では、まず、これを見てください。この本、とても古そうですね。この本には、新しいローマ字の手引きと書いてあります。Alright, did you get that? Alright, so don't worry, I'm going to speak English. So please look at this booklet. It looks old, doesn't it? And on this book, on this front page, it says 新しい that means new. ローマ字の that means romanized character. 手引き 手引き is a little old-fashioned term, but that means manual or handbook or guidelines. So I would say handbook for new Romaji, Romanized characters. Wow. All right. So, yeah, it's very old, the little children in the classroom. So, one thing it's very catch my eyes and very interesting thing for me is look at this Romaji, the spelling. Romaji ですね。It's Z, I on it. Today's spelling is G is usually J and I. But this one is Z, I on it. So to me, it's very interesting. And I will tell you why it's interesting and why it's a ZI and later on this video. All right, so, and back of this, the booklet. Okay, ただ Can you see? はい。it says, Nami's sushi sword. Chopsticks. はい。All right, so on this one, now this part is information of the publisher's date, né, and everything. So this one it says, okay, here you go. This one, all right. So it says this booklet published in April 10th, 1946. After World War II, during the occupation era. Yes, it's very interesting, isn't it? And in case you don't know when the World War II ended, that so that the date of the end of the World War II Pacific War is August 15th, 1945. 1945. So this booklet was published in 1946 and on April. So 8 months later, literally 8 months later, this booklet was published. Before I talk about the little booklet, I want to say that it belongs to my longtime friend. His name is Rickson, and his grandfather, who was in Japan during the American occupation right after World War II. Hi, Rick さん。はい、いくこさん。この間はありがとうございました。また会いましょう。All right. Yes. So he brought back, the grandfather brought back to America. All right. So let's take a look very closely. Okay. So, and I'm going to use this as a my pointer. Do you know what it is? Yes, my chopsticks. お箸です。All right. Okay. So, this is this booklet has the flowers, ね、hand drawing かな、the flowers and the children and the front page, the children, boy and a girl. Yeah, they are Japanese children, how I can tell, because yes, ね、the hairstyle, the boy at the time shaved hair, ね, and girl kept the hair really short. ですね. And they are studying Romaji. So this booklet made for probably Japanese children, right? And all right, so 学習者, this is the publishing ね, companies. And if you studied Japanese kanji, basic kanji, then you can tell probably that 学ですね。学校ですね。学校。学 is different style, right? It has more strokes. This one is 社, 会社 companies. 社, but 社 looks different, right? So, this one at that time that they used all the fashion kanji and a lot more stroke and a lot more complicated than today's kanji. で、ね、let's do the more ね、なんだ top from the top 新しい again that's new ローマ字ですね。Romanized, and I will explain why it has a chiku and a zi on it. No is a possessive particle of in English. Tebiki, again, that means a handbook. But let's see, I want to show you something, but this booklet has actually from chapter 1, this is the Japanese, the Romaji written, all the Romaji charts, and chapter 1 through chapter 8. There is the exercise and the answers. Isn't that sounds familiar? Yes, just like your Japanese textbook, right? Yes. So this is a little textbook, but still, it looks like more textbooks to me. Tebiki. If I have to translate in English, then I will translate in the textbook. Textbooks for new Romaji. Have that. What do you think? Okay, so why this spelling has this chiku and zi on it. ね、ローマ字 right here too. So the answer is right here. In the parentheses, it says 申請訓令式. So the 申請ですね. The kanji is right here. Kanji has a meaning. So 申請 itself, then I could imagine, can think of couple different meaning, but here is a kanji here. Kanji, shin means new. Se means system. So new system. New system. Okay. World War II during American occupation. New system. ね. All right, makes sense. Now, 訓令式. 訓令式, 式 means the style. 式 means style. 訓令 is one of the Romaji's style. Yes. So, other than the 訓令式, there are some different name and style. Just a little history of the Romaji. This is not only the one Romaji. Through the Japanese history, there is couple style of Romaji. Very first time Romaji is created in early 16th century by the Portuguese missionary. So the Portuguese people came to Japan for the missionary purpose, and they were surprised that the Japanese written system is so complicated, right? And they use totally different than what they use. So they wrote it down, the Japanese, the pronunciation in letters by using their writing system, which is ABCs. So therefore, the Romanized characters. Therefore, we say the Japanese write it down, written in ABC Romanized characters is Romaji. And then years later, actually so many years later, and during the Edo period, well, this is a history. History. I love history, Japanese history. So I could go going on, but long story short, that Edo period ended, and about the time Edo period ended, towards the end, American came with actually the General Perry came with the black ship. If you've heard the black ship with tons of cannon. I've heard 9 cannons, but I've heard actually it's 11 cannons in the black ship, and open up. It's been a closed country, so Japan, 250 years of a closed country, but the black ship came, and the American told the Japanese government that open up the port. So Edo Tokugawa shogunate agreed, open up the port. So now opened up the world. And then new era, Meiji era started. But around that time, the American physical doctor, created the new style of the Romaji. That's the Hebon style. Hebon shiki. Have you heard? Hebon Romaji. Hebon style Romaji. So the Hebon, Hebon, I don't know that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but supposed to be that's the American doctor's last name. Hebon. So, but Japanese is the Hebon. So Hebon style is actually the very shouldn't say very it's basically the based on English pronunciation. Here goes. So Hebon style is very close to the English pronunciation. Matter of fact, today, the Romaji we use is Hebon style. Yes, so if you see the Romaji, take a look. Those the even first couple page of any Japanese textbooks started with the Romanized characters sentence and using Hebon style, not the Kunrei style. Hi. All right. So, and then Japanese created on Romaji ですね。That's the Kunrei式です。ね。Technically, Nihon shiki Japanese style comes first. That's a third one. And that became a national Romaji. That's the meaning of Kunrei です。Kunrei, that means the technically that Japanese government officially ordered this, announced an order to Japanese citizen to use. That's kunrei です。Rei means order ですね。So, the kunrei shiki ですね。So, still, that because of the after World War II, Japanese wanted to use their own Romaji So, new system of kunre ne, textbooks です。So, to me, it's very interesting because we don't use that kunre that more commonly. Yeah, ne? So it's very interesting. All right. So okay, so before jumping inside, I want to talk about this paper, quality of paper ですね。It's very old, very thin, and very rough. ね, rough. So you can tell that very inexpensive way to make this booklet. ね, paper is very cheap material. ね. All right, so take a look inside. And so this is a ABC alphabet. Now, and then this is the incursive, chart of incursive, A to Z, capital letters and small letters, lowercase. Yes, this, なんだろう、the Japanese will learn how to write Romaji in school, 4th grade. So all Japanese has to practice in cursive in Romaji and English. This is side note. All right, so in cursive. Can you write in cursive? I've heard that in Texas, many schools stop teaching in cursive at school, elementary school. Is that true? Okay, so this is the Japanese chart. I wrote it written in katakana here. A, I, U, E, O. That's the basic Japanese vowel sounds in katakana. And then Romaji, ne? Underneath. So, A, I, U, E, O のローマ字書きですね。ローマ字です。So, Kunre式, what is the difference between Hebon style and Kunre style? Japanese style of the Romaji versus English style. Close to English, Hebon style. The Romaji is the spelling. Here go. ただしですね。さしすせそ。さしすせそ it's Japanese ね。The pronunciation with the consonant with S, sa. Yes. So here, because consonant with started with S, kept it. It's kept all the consonant is S and change to that vowel sounds a, I, U, E, O. Therefore, S and I is for pronounced with shi. S-I. But it's not attempting to say si, like Spanish, si. And how about this one? Tachitsuteto. Tachitsuteto with consonant with a T ですね。Started with た。ね。で、how about ち sounds? ち。So, kunre式 in Japanese style is keep the consonant no matter what. So, T and the vowel sound is I in it. So, Ti. So, that's chi. For Japanese, it's for easy because keep the consonant and change the vowel sounds. That's how the system goes in Japanese hiragana, katakana. Okay? So, but for this ABC Romaji spelling, that's the problem because TI, don't you think that pronunciation is T? T? And next one is tsu. Tachitsuteto, that's the Japanese sound. And with the kunre style is keep the consonant T and plug in U sounds. So it's TU. ですね。But supposed to be the pronunciation is つです。つ。So therefore, the Hebon style is TSU. ね、つ。And the next one is this one ですね。は、ひ、ふ、へ、ほ。は、ひ、ふ、へ、ほ. Consonant with H. So this one is, of course, therefore, keep the H and change U sounds here. So, hu. Actually, this one, hu, is the most probably the very close to the Japanese sounds, hu. Oh, this one is actually better than a Hebon style. Hebon style is F using it. I'm not going to spell it because it's dangerous. And F ですね instead of H. はい。で、but Japanese really don't have those F sounds. We don't use the lips F. Okay? So actually this one is Kunrei shiki is the better. ふです。Yeah. So, therefore, za, ji, zu, ze, zo. Same rule, because the is consonant is z, therefore ji is keep the z. And I, just the I plugged in, so ji です。ji. But but Hebon style is J and I, because Hebon style is based on the English pronunciation. G sounds like Jim, right? So J-I, right? It's better. So J, they change it, right? Yeah. So, and actually this one is easy to understand because this cha, chu, cho, とかね, sha, shu, sho. And you might think, so why did this one Y in it? Why this Y in it? That's so weird. No. It really makes sense for the Kunrei shiki because, again, keep the consonant and change the a, I, u, e, o is the Kunrei Japanese style. This is made for Japanese. So if it's sha, if you look at the hiragana, katakana, look at that. The small ya, you, yo, always small ya, you, yo in it. So keep the consonant S and small ya, small you, small yo, ya, you, yo. So sha, shu, sho. Cha, chu, cho is the same way. The Hebon style is C-H-A, C-H-U, C-H-O, but Japanese style is based on Japanese hiragana, katakana spelling system. So small ya, you, yo in it. So sha, shu, sho like that. Cha, chu, cho like that. I think it's very interesting. All right, so let's keep going. And this is just talking about spelling. All right. Pew. Here you go. Pew. And chapter 1, how to spell. Easy spelling Romaji. It says chapter 1. And then there's the quiz and answer exercise, quiz and answer. And I don't know if you can really see, it's very small, printing, but some kanji that we don't use anymore and hard to read because such a complicated kanji ですね。20, especially right here, that if you study Japanese, even including kanji, some basic kanji, you know the 写真 for the kanji. This is that 80 years ago, 写真 for kanji was like this. So why we use a different kanji? Yes, during the early 70s, there is the big the kind of what do you call the movement, the changing the kanji hiragana, the simplified. And back then, the writing system is different than spoken Japanese. So there was a movement. The government told that okay, let's make us simplified. A couple times there is a movement. So today is Japanese quite, I don't know quite, but something very different than 80 years ago. Just 80 years ago, but very different. Pronunciation is pretty much same though, but the writing system, it's very different. はい。漢字 is a lot more stroke and more complicated. Chapter 2ですね。And long vowel sounds. 長く引く音、long vowel sounds ですね。これ、東京、ね、6、地区。This is the answer ですね。Why is there is a little umbrella things on the top. 地区。はい。And if you've seen this o, double, ね、double vowel sounds, o ですね。東京とかね。double UU, double vowel sounds. So, 流行ね。流行。ね。ね。大きいです。大きい。ね。大きい。like that. If you see this spelling, that's the actually old-fashioned Japanese style. Ta-da! ね。Today is we use long line on the top. Just like umbrella, but straight line. If you see like this, that's the Japanese Kunre style です。We have all those, the 長く引く音、跳ねる音. We do have a more different language, different words for that, but how explained it in Japanese is also very interesting to me. ね。Right, this is the double consonant, so skipping sounds ですね。All right, so ね、and sorry, I'm pulling. And in cursive, how to write the sentence in Romaji. ね、はい。And then, ね。So, let's just writing a whole sentence in Romaji here. 牛の後から大きな木を積んだ車や石を積んだ車がいくつも通りました。ね。そう、通りました。しですね。Yeah. To me, SHI, she is better than this SI ですね。Because, pronunciation wise, it's more like C ですね。カタカナ, it doesn't help for the pronunciation. Okay? And again, we don't use that Romaji for Japanese between the Japanese at all. Okay? So why we, at the time, Japanese have to study Romaji. So that's I'm going to talk about. All right, so this is the before jump on that. This is kind of related. All right, so oh yeah, so before that, I'm gonna mention it. This here, the chapter 8. Other その他のローマ字の書き方. How to write ローマ字 other ローマ字ですね. So in this one is it says briefly says okay, so this is Kunre 式ね Kunre Japanese government ordered the Japanese to study. All the Japanese citizens, and especially children, studied Romaji. But now, there are other Romaji. This. And it says, other than this Kunre Japanese style, okay, there are other Romaji that's been used for a long time. And it's important to know how to read and write. No, it's a reading. Read that this Hebon style. Romaji. It's very important to learn how to read this new other Romaji, which is the Hebon style. Here goes the shi, chi, tsu, fu, chi for shi, shi is shi, chi, chi, tsu, ji here. That's the today's spelling, ji. Now, so as I mentioned earlier, all right, so this is the date of the published this little booklet. So it's April 10th, 1946. This booklet was published. And this one was published, but it says, okay, price, money, 6 yen. This is also different kanji. Very complicated kanji. This is en, en. Chapter 1, you studied first the kanji en, you studied, if you study Japanese. But this one is the old-fashioned en, before simplified. Now, this textbook, it said it's the during war and just end of a war, so it makes sense. But it's the rational system, rational system. So whoever has some money, 6 yen, then you could get this textbook. But of course, most of Japanese are so poor, lost everything. So it's not for everyone for this textbooks, right? So actually, I wanted to explain what is the behind this textbook, why it made it. So I actually wrote it down, so I like to read it because it's go more faster. So so I'm gonna read it. So I researched about this booklet. And I researched and looked at this booklet and Google it and other search engine, and I really couldn't find anything about this booklet. Typically, I'm talking about this booklet, But finally, I found it the most relevant information. And the collections of documents on Romaji issues, 1955, in the Monbusho website. Monbusho is a Japanese term, that Ministry of Education, old-fashioned term. That website. The official name used to be the Ministry of Education, Science, Sports, and Culture. Although the name Monbusho has changed since 2001, about 25 years ago, and Monbu Kagakusho. So it's a little different name, but I found it the little article about this 新しいローマ字の手引き. So I was so excited. So I'm going to kind of summarize it about the articles and little documents. All right, so I'm going to simplify it. Basically, the occupation of Japan started in 1945 and ended in 1955 for 10 years. So during the occupation, one of the things that Americans noticed was that the Japanese writing system was very complicated. And so that they wanted to simplify it, thinking that it was far too complicated for the children, Japanese children, to learn, right? So beside the spoken Japanese language, they had 3 writing systems, as you know, hiragana, katakana, and kanji, and more complicated kanji back then. And written system is different than spoken language. So surely this must be too hard to learn for the children. So the U.S. government thought then get rid of all those writing system, katakana, hiragana, kanji, and change the Romaji. Just like other of the world use it, the ABC, then why don't we use it Romaji? That was seriously considered. So the literacy test was given all over Japan. Actually, my father at the time was 10, 11 years old, and he remembered he took it. Yes, that's another side of the story. But anyway, so the literature test that was given all over Japan. And what do you think the result? Do you think that what percent of the children can write and read at the time, World War II? At the end of the World War II era. 50%, 60%, or 30%? You think about the wartime. And before that, there was World War I, and Sino-Japan War, Russia-Japan War. You have to keep thinking that. Okay? So the U.S. government was astonished to learn that the Japanese children's literacy rate was 98%. Right? 90%, 98%. Only 2% couldn't really read or just ignored. Not taking it, or just didn't answer. So the result was so amazing that the U.S. government gave up on the idea of changing writing system to Romaji. Yeah, so we really don't need it because children are actually can read and write. They are really smart. They're doing really good. It's not that bad at all. That's actually my dad what told me. Actually, Japanese really generally talking Japanese, really like to study, and they can write, they can read. They could read and write. So, but still, American government ordered the Japanese government to teach children how to write the Romaji in school at 4th grade. Yes, and even still continue till today. And I researched. I look at it on a website, Google it, that still they study Romaji, and yes, actually they do. And actually some school teach Romaji at 3rd grade, right? Yeah, so still keep, keep those educational the Romaji education of Romaji still keep going, and ne, right. So the okay, so back to the old fashioned way, this textbook, ne, of course, the most of the school building is destroyed, right? But they have to they lost everything, but American government ordered the Japan that printed out this little booklet, this to at least how to read and write, teach the children. Yeah, so they don't change the writing system, but make sure to teach the Romaji at school. And this is the first, most likely, probably this is the very first textbook. So therefore, the Japanese boy and a girl and how to write, and very first textbooks. Oops. However, at the time, there was the rationing system. Not many people can afford it, and many people couldn't go to school anyway back then. It takes a while, about 10 years to everybody back to school. So anyway, so that's why this is the money, the 6 yen. And this is the first textbooks. How that? Isn't that interesting? I think interesting. So I'm consider myself as a researcher and scholar, and the college teacher, but I can help it. And I wanted to introduce or tell you about this little booklet, history behind it. I hope you enjoy it, this presentation. All right. If you're studying Japanese, keep it up. If you're interested in Japanese, go ahead. Never too late. And I'm really cheer for you, and I want to help you to to have an incentive to the meaning of why you study Japanese. All right, so this is today, and hopefully you have a great day, and see you next time. All right, everyone.